Deadly and destructive, the full force of nature on clear display across southern Ontario. Hurricane-force winds packing a powerful punch, leaving a trail of damage and unfortunately responsible for at least 2 deaths.
Sir, there it is. Whoa! Got that one. Good.
Wow, we haven't seen wind like this in decades. It seems like anywhere you looked, trees were uprooted, landing on cars and homes. Anything that wasn't bolted down was transformed into a flying projectile. In Toronto, fire crews responded to nearly 700 calls. Tonight, thousands remain without electricity, the wind bringing down hydro wires across the province. Repair crews now scrambling to get everyone back online. We have full coverage of this fast-moving spring storm. Tom Brown will break down the numbers and where this weather system is headed. But we begin with CTV's Miranda Anthis. Miranda, the storm was intense and it was deadly.
That's right, Zoraida. 2 men were killed because of the wild weather today. One out in Milton when a tree came crashing down while he was at work. Another man in Hamilton was electrocuted after he was trying to clear live wires off of the roadway. Now, many others narrowly escaped getting injured after many places across the GTA, including this Mr. Scarborough, suffered property damage. Gale-force winds tore through the GTA, creating a path of destruction and death. The wild weather killing an employee of a tree services company clearing debris from a side road in Milton.
A couple of workers were taking down trees, and in the storm, a tree came down and struck 2 individuals.
The deceased worked at Miller Tree. The other crew member remains in hospital with life-threatening injuries. While in Hamilton, the storm claimed another casualty. Witnesses say a man in his 50s was electrocuted after trying to clear live wires from the roadway. In Mississauga, it was a close call for Bob Hall.
I was spooked. I don't spook very easily, but I was definitely spooked.
Hall says all it took was 10 seconds for his entire roof to blow off his home while he was inside.
I've never heard anything like it in my life. It was just like a ripping sound, and then a bang, a thud, and then another ripping sound.
The roof came crashing down onto his backyard deck, as well as his neighbors, but no one was hurt. But in Toronto's West End, paramedics treated this man after a convenience store awning was torn off by the strong winds, pinning him beneath the wall.
I was walking with a friend of mine and I heard a loud bang, like a gunshot, and I turned around and this thing was just completely on its own. We dodged it by like 3 seconds, and then I saw somebody was pinned underneath and a group of people trying to help him out.
The high winds blowing over anything not tightly secured. And this is a common scene across the GTA, the powerful winds knocking down huge trees onto hydro lines, leaving many without power.
It's been out, I think, 2 hours now. It's not too long, but we'll see how long it takes to get back up.
Around the corner, this tree came down hard, nearly falling onto a school bus full of children.
The driver was very upset, and they were all sitting in the bus. They didn't know what happened.
No one was injured. But just down the road, a fire left this house completely gutted after a tree knocked over the hydro box. Few fire crews were available due to the high demand in calls after a day of wild weather and deadly winds. And that deadly wind, that wild wind, knocked out power to tens of thousands of customers right across southern Ontario. At its height, Hydro One was dealing with 126,000 homes without power. And tonight, Toronto Hydro is still working to restore power to 68,000 customers. Reporting live, I'm Miranda Anthis. Zoraida.
Okay, thank you, Miranda. And the storm also caused chaos at airports across southern Ontario, including at Pearson. A full ground stop was implemented late this afternoon, forcing delays and cancellations. At one point, it simply wasn't safe to have anyone or anything outside. You can see this cargo vehicle was thrown from the road and into a fence.
We had to wait. The pilot explained that if the wind was too high, the flight controllers wouldn't let him take off. So we were on for 2 hours, and now we're off, and it's a bit of a mess here.
Maybe delayed, because that's what originally it was. It was delayed twice, and then in the end it was just canceled. So, fortunately, can't do much. Hopefully we can get her on our next flight out. Maybe hopefully tonight, if not tomorrow morning.
Now, there is some good news. Air traffic is once again moving tonight. Well, it's become a common occurrence in high winds. The Burlington Skyway was closed to traffic for a brief time this evening. TTC and GO service was also affected because of the debris on tracks and roadways. Okay, so let's get the latest now on this weather system. Here's a live look at the city tonight. This is at Bay Street. The winds looks like they're starting to calm down. Tom Brown joining us now. Tom, is the worst behind us?
The rain has moved off to the east, and you're right, the winds are diminishing. You know, a Category 1 hurricane has winds of 119 kilometers an hour. Winds peaked at 126 in Hamilton today, 122 at Waterloo, and 119 at Pearson. Wind warning canceled as of 9:08 for Toronto and Hamilton, but we still have a wind warning from Brockville areas to the east into southern Quebec. Still, we could see winds of 90 to 100 kilometers an hour, but as this high pressure builds in, the wind warnings will be dropped. Right now, it's 11 in Brockville, 10 in Kingston, 7 in Peterborough, it's 10 in Collingwood, and down in the southwest, we have 9 in St. Thomas, 10 in Grand Bend, 8 from